My name is Sean, and this is the story of a house and its owner. It all started in the office. Another dull 9 to 5 where time itself seemed to stop moving. The air was stale, the clock refused to tick, and life felt like it had pressed pause. Then, the phone rang.
Hi, is this Sean McCullen?
Yeah? Who's asking?
Oh yes, sorry. My name is Gareth. I'm your Uncle Rupert's lawyer.
Wait, Uncle Rupert? I don't have an Uncle Rupert.
Do you have a father named James McCullen?
Yeah?
Well, Rupert was your father's brother.
What? My dad had a brother.
Yes, sir. I'm calling because your uncle passed away and left you his house.
I blinked. Okay, but I can't afford a house. I can barely afford rent.
That's the thing, sir. Along with the house comes a very large inheritance. You're a billionaire.
My heart stopped. The world froze around me. The word billionaire echoed in my head like a bad dream I didn't want to wake up from. Billionaire? This isn't a scam, is it? Gareth chuckled softly.
No, sir, it's quite real. You can sign the papers once we meet at 404 Nethermore Lane. See you in a week.
Wait, hold on. Click. He was gone. A house. Money. A billionaire. This couldn't be real. I needed to see Dad. Immediately. While driving, all I could think about was this so-called Uncle Rupert. Did this guy even exist? And if he did, why did Dad keep him a secret? Pulling up to the house, I saw my mother in her garden, as always, planting who knows what. Hey, Mom. She looked up, smiling softly.
Oh, hi, sweetie. What brings you here?
I need to talk to Dad. For a moment, I hesitated. My mother's heart had been fragile ever since I was 13. Something that came out of nowhere. No one ever figured out why. Any kind of stress could literally kill her. No, I couldn't tell her. Not yet. I kissed her on the cheek and walked inside. Dad? Dad? From below came his muffled voice.
Sean! I'm in the basement!
I made my way down the creaking wooden steps. The single bulb hanging from the ceiling flickered, casting long shadows across the walls. Dad was hunched over his old workbench. When he heard my footsteps, he froze.
Sean.
He said without turning around. His voice was tired, guarded. Dad, we need to talk. I got a call today from a lawyer. Said his name was Gareth. The color drained from my dad's face.
Gareth?
Yeah, he said he's Uncle Rupert's lawyer. Apparently, Uncle Rupert died and left me his house. Dad turned sharply.
You shouldn't have answered that call.
What are you talking about? He said I inherited a house. And money. Like, a lot of it. His expression darkened.
That's not a gift, Sean. That's a curse.
The room seemed to grow colder. What do you mean a curse? Who even is Uncle Rupert? Dad ran a trembling hand through his hair.
Your uncle wasn't like other people. He was obsessed with death, the afterlife. Things no man should try to understand. The family cut him off years ago.
So, you're saying I just inherited a haunted house?
You don't understand.
Dad said.
That house isn't just haunted. It's alive.
A week later, despite every warning my father gave me, I found myself standing at the gate of 404 Nethermore Lane. The air felt colder, thicker, as if the house was breathing.
Mr. McCullen.
I turned. A tall man in a black coat stood by the gate. I hadn't heard a car, hadn't seen anyone approach. His presence felt wrong, like he'd been waiting for years. You must be Gareth, I said. He smiled faintly.
Yes, Gareth Lorne, your uncle's attorney. I trust the drive wasn't too unpleasant.
Long, but fine, I said, glancing at the house. So, this is it?
Yes, Rupert's home, and now yours.
Something about that word, yours, hung in the air too long. Wait, I said slowly. How did you know I'd be here today? He blinked once, tilting his head.
You told me, of course.
No, I didn't. You said see you in a week. I never confirmed anything. His smile widened, just enough to show a hint of teeth.
Ah, the house tends to know when its heir is near.
The house, I echoed, but he was already walking ahead. At the door, I noticed a mark burned into the wood. A strange circular symbol lined with sharp runes. Mr. Lorne, I called. What's this? He paused.
A warning.
He said softly.
Your uncle placed it there before he passed.
Before I could ask more, he pushed the door open. The air that rolled out was cold, metallic, alive. Inside was silence, thick enough to choke on. The study door stood ajar, and on the desk was a single envelope, sealed with that same blackened sigil.
Your inheritance,
Gareth murmured. When I turned to ask what was inside, he was gone. The envelope pulsed faintly in my hand. When I opened it, the air whispered my name.
To my heir. If you're reading this, the house has chosen you. It binds itself to the bloodline. It does not let go. I tried to contain it, to feed it, to make peace. I failed. Do not stay after dark. Rupert McCullen.
A chill swept through the room. Despite every instinct telling me to leave, curiosity rooted me in place. I lit a candle from the desk and began exploring. The hallways twisted in ways they shouldn't have. Each turn returning me to the same corridor, till the portraits kept changing. In one, Rupert stood beside my father as children. In another, Rupert, alone, older, smiling at something painted just out of frame. The deeper I went, the stranger it got. In the library, I found notebooks, hundreds of them, filled with sketches of human anatomy spliced with architecture. Lungs that looked like rooms, hearts drawn as doorways. Beside one sketch, Rupert had written,
To live forever, a soul must find shelter.
On the next page, the same phrase repeated over and over until the ink tore through the paper. I backed away, heart pounding. Then, from the corner of my eye, I saw movement. Just a flicker. A figure standing between the shelves. I froze. Gareth? Nothing. When I stepped closer, the figure dissolved into shadow. I swallowed hard and kept moving. In the kitchen, the air smelled of rust and old water. A plate sat on the counter, half covered in dust, half clean. Like someone had just eaten there. The sink faucet dripped, slow and steady. Except, every fifth drop landed a little louder, like a heartbeat. I turned it off. The sound didn't stop. At the end of the hall, I found a door padlocked shut. Above it, written in black paint, feeding room. My hand hovered over the lock. The metal felt warm. A whisper crawled up my spine.
Welcome home, Sean.
The candle flickered out. The sound rattled through the house, echoing like a coffin lid snapping shut. I ran to the door, twisting the handle, but it wouldn't budge. It wasn't locked. It just wouldn't move, like something heavy was pressed against it from the other side. Hello? My voice came out cracked. Gareth? Then, the chandelier above the foyer trembled. Dust drifted from the ceiling like falling ash. I looked up and froze. The ceiling itself was breathing. The boards flexed outward in a long, hollow exhale, then sank inward again. I stumbled backward, tripping over the rug. My shoulder slammed against the wall, and it shuddered beneath my touch. The wallpaper was warm, pulsing, almost like skin. Oh, God. A low groan rose from the floorboards, stretching through the hall like the sound of a throat clearing itself. The air turned sour, metallic, thick, like the smell before a thunderstorm. Then something shifted. The floor rippled. The wood moved, buckling upward in a wave that sent splinters flying. I scrambled to my feet, but the board snapped open like jaws. A gash tore through the floor, revealing darkness beneath. Too deep for any basement. A whisper drifted up from it.
Feed it.
I froze, staring into the black void. Then, a hand, gray, thin, jointed wrong, shot out and grabbed my ankle. I screamed and kicked, but the grip tightened, ice-cold fingers digging into my skin. I grabbed a broken chair leg and slammed it down again and again until the hand finally let go, vanishing back into the floor. Breathing hard, I stumbled back towards the staircase, only to find the steps gone. The stairwell had sealed over, smooth wood stretching where the steps had been. Every door in the hall began to slam open and shut in rhythm, faster and faster like a heartbeat. The whisper returned. Dozens of voices now, layered and desperate.
Welcome home, Sean.
Then the walls began to move inward. The walls pressed closer until there was nowhere left to run. The floor gave way beneath me and I fell. Down into a void that swallowed the light, the air, everything. When I hit the ground, I didn't feel pain. Just cold. The kind of cold that lives inside you. I opened my eyes to find myself lying on a bed. Not a modern one. Iron frame, thin mattress, and sheets that smelled faintly of dust and old breath. The room was small, windowless, and yet somehow lit by a dull glow that had no source. I sat up. My clothes were dry. My hands were clean. The only sound was the steady dripping of water somewhere in the dark. "Where am I?" I whispered. A voice answered, smooth and low, as if coming from inside the walls themselves.
Home.
I froze. "Who said that?"
I did.
The light pulled softly. The air rippled. And from the corner of the room, something began to take shape. Smoke, coiling upwards like breath on glass, folding in on itself until it formed a figure. Not quite human. Too tall. Its limbs slightly wrong, its face a blur that never settled.
Sean's throat tightened.
"What are you?"
The thing tilted its head.
I am what your blood made me.
"Why, what?"
You call me a house.
It said, stepping closer, the floor groaning beneath invisible weight.
But I was never wood and stone. I am the binding between them, the soul your uncle fed me to keep me calm.
Sean backed away until his shoulders hit the wall.
"You're saying you're alive?"
It laughed softly.
Alive? No. Remembering.
"What does that mean?"
The figure's voice deepened, vibrating through the air.
It means I remember every McCullen who's ever walked through my doors. Your uncle, your father, and you, Sean, the reason I was built.
"I don't understand.
Sean sat trembling.
Why me?"
The air grew colder. The glow dimmed.
Because you were born to finish what they started.
Sean shook his head.
No. No, my father never...
Your father tried to run.
The voice interrupted.
But blood does not run far. It returns. It calls to me, even in dreams.
Sean's pulse hammered in his ears.
What about my mother?
He whispered. Silence. Then softly.
She carries what your father took from me.
Sean froze.
What do you mean?
The figure leaned closer, its shape flickering like a dying flame.
Half of what I am was sealed inside her heart the night you were born. That's why it falters, why it weakens. She holds the piece of me that keeps you alive.
Sean's vision swam.
No.
You are not heir to my walls.
The voice murmured.
You are heir to me. You are the door, Sean, and doors are meant to open.
The room began to shake. The walls rippled as the voice whispered from all directions. Calm, tender, inescapable.
Wake up, Sean. It's time to come home.
Sean clenched his fists, forcing himself to breathe through the rising panic.
You're lying.
He said.
You're trying to scare me.
The figure tilted its head, its face flickering through a dozen half-formed expressions. Some human, some not.
You already know it's true. You feel it, don't you? In your chest. The same ache that plagues her heart.
Sean's hand instinctively went to his chest. For the first time, he felt it. A faint flutter, a misstep in rhythm, as if something inside him was beating out of sync.
No.
He whispered.
No. You're not real.
He grabbed the nearest thing he could find, an iron lamp, and hurled it at the figure. It struck dead center, clanging against the far wall. But the shadow didn't even flinch. It only stepped closer.
Violence is what made me, Sean.
It said quietly.
You cannot kill what you are made of.
The floor shuddered, rippling like liquid. The bedpost split. Tendrils of dark, fibrous wood crawled up the walls, wrapping around the iron frame like vines. Sean stumbled backwards towards the door, only to find it gone. Just smooth, seamless wall. He slammed his fists against it.
Let me out!
The room echoed. Closer now. Right behind him.
Out? There is no out, Sean. There is only within.
Sean turned, swinging blindly, but the shadow caught his wrist. The touch was ice. Beneath its hand, his veins turned black, branching upward like ink in water. His skin burned where it touched him.
Stop!
He gasped, yanking free, clutching his arm.
I'm not you!
And the figure leaned close, and for the first time, its face settled into his own. His own eyes stared back, calm and pitying.
You were never you.
Something in Sean broke. The fight drained out of his muscles, replaced by a wave of exhaustion so deep it felt ancient. The hum of the house grew louder, almost soothing now, like a heartbeat syncing with his. He fell to his knees.
Why me?
Because you were born from the walls.
It said.
Your father tried to stop the birth, to save your mother, but it was too late. The house had chosen. You were made to remember me, to keep me alive.
Sean's vision blurred. His heartbeat slowed. Every inhale drew in more of the house's scent. Dust, iron, decay. But underneath it, he smelled something familiar. His mother's perfume, his father's cologne. The voice softened, almost kind.
You fought well. They all did. But the house always wins.
Sean reached out weakly, his fingers brushing the wall. It felt warm, steady, alive. The last thing he saw before the dark room took him was his reflection in the wall's surface. His skin already fading into a wood grain. His eyes, dimming, glowed faintly with the same pale light that filled the room. When the house exhaled, it sounded like a sigh of relief.
Welcome home.
Miles away, as dusk settled over the small garden behind the McCullen home, Sean's mother knelt among her flowers. Her hands trembled slightly, and a faint pain had begun to pulse beneath her ribs. The same sharp, tearing sensation she'd felt the night Sean was born. She pressed her palm against her chest and exhaled shakily.
Not again.
The air around her grew still. No wind, no birds. Even the leaves seemed to hold their breath. Then the ground beneath her fingertips pulsed once, like something beneath the soil was breathing in time with her.
James?
She called out weakly, looking towards the house. No answer. Her pain sharpened. Her vision flickered. For an instant, she saw not her garden, but a long, dark hallway. One she didn't recognize, yet somehow knew. She heard whispers crawling through the air.
Half within, half without.
Tears welled in her eyes.
Sean?
She whispered.
My boy?
Her heartbeat faltered, missing a rhythm. And in that missing beat, something vast and hollow stirred far away, as if her pulse reached through miles of dirt and stone into another place. Then her heart steadied again, weak but steady. The pain dulled. The whispers faded. She looked down. Her garden soil had darkened, damp, though it hadn't rained. The flowers trembled. Their roots pulsed faintly, as though sharing her heartbeat. She closed her eyes, not in fear, but in resignation.
Please,
She murmured.
let him be free.
The wind answered at last, carrying the faintest echo. Her son's voice.
I'm home, Mom.
A single tear rolled down her cheek as she clutched her chest.
I know, sweetheart. I know.
"3 years later, the Nethermore property was listed again. The notice printed in the smallest column of the local paper. The realtor, a young woman named Claire, had been sent to prepare the place for viewing. She arrived in the late afternoon. The air was thick and still, and though the sun was bright, the house seemed to cast its own shadow. One that swallowed the driveway and crept towards her boots as she approached the door. The first step groaned under her weight.
Charming.
She muttered, brushing cobwebs from the handle. When she pushed the door open, a wave of cool, dry air rolled out, the kind that belonged in old basements and locked attics.
Smells like old paint and iron.
She said, wrinkling her nose. She flicked on her flashlight and began her notes.
Peeling wallpaper, floors warped, smells of moisture.
Her beam swept across the hall, catching on something that made her pause. A portrait. It showed a young man, maybe early 30s. The brass plate below read, Sean McCullen. She frowned.
Weird. Thought the last heir sold this place off decades ago.
The air behind her shifted. The door creaked close. She turned.
Hello?
Nothing. But when she looked back at the portrait, she froze. The young man's eyes, which she could have sworn had been looking to the side, now stared directly at her. And faintly, beneath the hum of the house, a whisper slipped through the silence.
Welcome home.